Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler. I remember my very, very first experience with Adam Sandler. I'm 23 now, but I would have been about 13, 14 years old. And I know what you're thinking, like, 13 years old, that would have been 10 years ago. Like, it's not that long ago, right? But when your experience of growing up was a string of being kicked in the nuts, humiliated, and getting in with the wrong crowds, going wayward, and now either everybody's dead or gone, yeah, it starts to feel like a very, very long time ago. So my secondary school was having a half day, and me and my boys, my squad, the coolest kids you've ever met, whose names I sparsely even remember anymore, we were gonna roll out into town like the independent young men that we were and watch a grown-up movie. We weren't gonna see an animated film, we weren't gonna see a superhero movie, we were gonna watch a film made by grown-ups for grown-ups. The film in question? Grown Ups, an Adam Sandler movie. Now back then I didn't know who Adam Sandler was or what his reputation was at that time. All I knew was, I know the name, I hear Grown Ups saying that name regularly, and I'm a kid, so how grown up would it be if I went to see his movie, Grown Ups? Now, to this day, I only remember 3 moments from that film. But even after I'd immediately watched it, I only remembered 3 moments from that film. There's the bit where the little kid says he wants to get chocolate wasted because he thinks getting wasted means getting ice cream. There was the bit where I think it was either David Spade or maybe it was Kevin James had a KFC bucket on their head. And the guy's peeing in the pool at a water park and it having that dye colorant in it so their pee came out as dye. The one thing going through my mind the entire time I was watching is Adam Sandler's laughing a lot, Chris Rock is laughing a lot, David Spade is laughing a lot, Kevin James is laughing a lot, but am I laughing? I didn't see my friends laughing, and I came out just kind of thinking, well, I wasn't really that bored while watching it, and I mean, it's a film for grown-ups, it's a film for adults, so like maybe I'm not gonna get the humor as much being a small child. Actually, get real here, I would have been about 13 at the time, so I would have probably come out thinking,
yeah, I totally got all of that. Hilarious movie. Great. I'm gonna get late tonight because I just watched an Adam Sandler movie.
But then literally as I went to bed that night, I'd forgotten all about the film. So flash forward now to 2019. I am a grown-up. I'm a 23-year-old man. I've got an apartment, I've got a job, I've got responsibilities to attend to, I've got a girlfriend. And said girlfriend dragged me through the entirety of the Twilight Saga. Why? I don't know why, probably just sadistic reasons. So over the course of like 4 days, I'd watched nothing but the Twilight movies. How poorly written, barely competently filmed, and absolutely pretentious they are. I think it had something to do with the fact she was a Twilight fan when she was like 15 years old, and she just kind of wanted me to see that part of her life and what it was like. But oh man, I needed something after that. Like after that last Twilight film with that whole like 20-minute long final battle, which turns out is all just a dream because they're trying to be clever. Like, I needed a palate cleanser, and so Liz comes to me and says, alright, why don't we watch Grown Ups 2? And my reaction was just, yeah, good old Adam Sandler, who I didn't find funny as a kid, but I'm sure I'd find funny now, right? I knew a little bit more about Adam Sandler's reputation by this point, but I thought, hey, I'm a guy that likes movies and likes talking about movies, but I'm not exactly Mr. Kino. I like plenty of movies that other people hate, you name it, The Room, Batman and Robin, Superman 3. Go ahead, pop the movie on, why not? I'm surely gonna enjoy it more than I did Twilight. And we were at her mother's while doing this, and she and her mother were just sat there snickering while this deer just pisses all over Adam Sandler's bed. And while I think it was David Spade was just being thrown down the street in like a tire or a bin or something. And then there was this bit with some chocolate ice cream, but it's supposed to be funny because it looks like poo. And I just sat there just comprehending what I was seeing. And by the end of it, I was like, I didn't like that at all. I didn't like any of that. I didn't even laugh once. Like, this was worse than the Twilight movies. That's one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life. But it's okay, because there's that Adam Sandler movie Pixels, which has Pac-Man in it, and all these other nostalgic characters. That's sure to be great, right? Well, no, it's just the same old crap with just nostalgia baiting in it. And it suddenly all made sense, that reputation, that reason why my younger self didn't laugh at all. I became fascinated with Adam Sandler though, and I became fascinated with his movies. There was something so detestable about them. Something so banal, so childish, so excessive. If it wasn't just the guys just laughing at whatever, expecting us to laugh too, it was just poo and piss jokes. Guys putting on really goofy accents and gimmicks. It's like, oh wow, it's a comedic movie with Adam Sandler, but it's got this really dramatic music and slow-mo happening over this bit. Like, it's an emotionally resonant moment. Oh, this is like one of those silly drama films where everything's so serious, except it's Adam Sandler, and it's really fucking funny. Oh, Adam Sandler's putting on that sleazy accent that he does in some roles. God, it just adds so much to the character, doesn't it? Yeah, I must have been slowly losing my mind there, because in my early weeks of university, I said to my girlfriend, we're going to watch a week of nothing but Adam Sandler movies. It was also partially because my girlfriend wanted me to put a film on Netflix, and like your average girlfriend, she doesn't say what she wants to watch, so I just want to find something that's easy to find. So I began with a film I actually wanted to see as a kid called Click. The idea of a guy having a TV remote that could control the space-time continuum, like, that just seemed like such a novel idea to me as a kid. So I clicked that one on. Oh, fucking hell. An observation I had with these movies was he always gets these really great actors in it, like Steve Buscemi and Christopher Walken, and I'm just like, what are you guys doing here? I'm gonna be real, I myself found Click to be kind of unwatchable. I kind of like the fantasy elements, and I thought like the sets were really impressive, but like all of the humor that went with it, and the humor very much comes from the premise, it's very much an Adam Sandler movie. It's a sort of sleazy comedy. Before then, in its third act, deciding it's going to be extremely melodramatic. I guess this movie did try and have a theme, though, and sort of like time and life and how quickly it can go by and how you can mess that up. How even when it feels like you have control of these things, you don't necessarily have them. I tried pretty hard to find a theme in this, okay? Contrary to popular belief, I try to like everything I see. Okay, on to the next one. 50 First Dates. Liz told me this one was pretty good. And as this film began, I started to come up with a little conspiracy theory. The location of which this film is set is pretty dang beautiful. The film begins by telling us all these different women want Adam Sandler, but he never sticks around. And we see Adam Sandler working as a marine biologist, working with different beautiful animals. And it made me think, is Adam Sandler making these films just so he can go to a really nice location, have a blast with animals, and tell the world what a womanizer he is? That was what I was thinking during the first act. However, once we get to the second act and he meets his lady friend whose name I can't remember, we kind of see what this movie is really all about. You see, this lady suffers from short-term memory loss, and that effectively makes her impossible to form a meaningful relationship with because she will forget you the next day, and the cycle kind of repeats itself. And the film is kind of Adam Sandler going up against all odds to get with this girl. Now, another thing, Adam Sandler's performance is dialed back quite a bit. He's acting more like Adam Sandler, less of that sort of sleazy accent sort of Adam Sandler shit. And the girl's parents are kind of trying to protect her because they know what she's gonna go through, but there's a lot of moral questions that go with that, which Adam Sandler kind of poses to them. And to its credit, the issue is handled quite well. And as a rom-com, it's sweet. It's sweet seeing the efforts that Adam Sandler's character really puts forward to get with this girl, and to help her trust him on a day-by-day basis. As well as that, there's this regular cafe where they meet for the first time like 50 times, and the people that work at that cafe and the regular customers and stuff, like, they all come across as really cool people. And as well as that, I mean, it starts off with Adam Sandler being quite sleazy about it, you know? But that at least ends up being kind of a veil that kind of the film kind of pulls back a little bit, and, you know, it results in a pretty sweet story. And I just came out of this one going, there was something to that. It wasn't just meaningless stupidity and wackiness, and sure, there's a lot of vomit jokes at the very start, but it was like, once I got past that, and I stuck with the film, I didn't end up regretting it. And I'm just like, okay, there's something to this. There's something to you, Adam Sandler. There's some nuance going on there. The next one blew it out the window for me. Just go with it. I watched the first 10 minutes of it and switched it off. I was like, nope, I'm too tired to do this right now. We've got Adam Sandler telling sleazy jokes with a big nose prosthetic, and it's like, isn't he funny looking? And he works as a sort of a plastic surgeon. And just, no, I was gonna try something else. I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry. This one kind of in some ways reminded me a little bit of that Marilyn Marilyn Monroe film, Some Like It Hot. Except that rather than going undercover as women, we've got Chuck and Larry, who's, I don't know which one is which. Adam Sandler and Kevin James are going undercover as a homosexual couple for the sake of benefits, but it's all going a bit awry when people are having their suspicions. And I don't know, this one, like, and on the poop joke, fart joke, piss joke front, like, okay, it's a little better than some of the others. On the other hand, I think it's kind of taken the matter of gay marriage in this kind of a day and age and kind of looking at it with a bit of a, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest. I think the thing with a lot of these Adam Sandler movies, and even 50 First Dates, which I enjoyed, is we start off with a very sleazy, sort of unlikable character doing sleazy, unlikable things, and that's kind of the catalyst of the rest of the film, and it makes it so hard to invest in these things for the long run. And just this one just kind of ended up feeling a bit non-existent, and I just feel like the matter of abusing, like, gay marriage for the sake of benefits, I don't know if I want to see a film about that in this way, you know? I feel like that should be like a side story in another film about a more likable thing that's going on. So, yeah. Next up was That's My Boy, and oh, this one was Adam Sandler to the max. Like, fortunately, he's not the main character this time around, but Adam Sandler was doing everything that is wrong with an Adam Sandler performance. Going out of his way to be incredibly sleazy, more so than ever, putting on stupid voices. It was vulgar, it was gross, like, I got it. It's the whole thing of like, oh, there's a father and he's a bit neglectful of his son and it kind of screws his son up, and they take it in such a stupid, far-fetched direction, and I get it. It's an Adam Sandler film. This isn't realism, but it's not relatable on any level. It's just shit, in my opinion. I didn't like it. I kind of knew from the opening that I wasn't gonna like it, because we had this whole thing of like, he's a little child and he has his first sexual experience with his teacher, and they get caught fucking at a school performance, and he gets her pregnant, and I don't like pedophilia being used as a joke, you know? Call me PC, but there's rules, man, you know? I mean, there's ways of doing it. Like, that's the thing. There's a lot of people that say, oh, you can't tell a joke in 2020 because it's woke culture and all that. Like, fucking newsflash, tell that to the media and the churches when Life of Brian came out, and B, you could tell a joke, it has to be funny. You can't just go, ha 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 ha, pedophilia, and then expect everybody to laugh. I get that part of the appeal of an Adam Sandler film is it's a no-holds-barred, nothing's off the table thing. But it's just, for me, just, ugh. Okay, next up was Murder Mystery, and if you think we're getting towards the end of this, we're not. Like, I watched multiple Adam Sandler movies in these days. Next up was Murder Mystery on Netflix. I'd had it advertised to me a few times, the production values look good, it was a Netflix film, which, you know, is I'm sure they're gonna have some kind of standard in place, right? Well, I find that Netflix films are kind of 6 of one, half a dozen, like, they could be good, they could be just boring. In some cases, little distasteful. And this one had a lot of actors that I liked in it, and to be fair, I think I'm growing a warming to Adam Sandler as a performer. Like, I'm not fond of the performances he's done so far, with the exception of 50 First Dates, but, like, there's a lot of work going into that. And I realized that Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler had worked together before, so it was seen as kind of a reunion thing. And, you know, I think Jennifer Aniston can be pretty good. And there's also Luke Evans, who I think is really cool, so it was like, you know, give it a try, and I was bored. I was sincerely bored by this. Murder mysteries can be something that's pretty hard to get right, and if you're gonna do a comedy one, the pacing of the comedy's gotta be really good, and here, just slow, and Adam Sandler is going full Adam Sandler in this film, which is otherwise very held back, which kind of allows him to kind of express himself like a cartoon character, but this didn't feel like neither the time or the place. And just, the whole thing is just numb, you know? I didn't laugh at all, but I didn't feel anything whatsoever. It's a numb movie. And it's the thing I find frustrating about a lot of Netflix stuff, like including The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Like, you got these beautiful sets and this fantastic cinematography and all this great mise-en-scene stuff, and then, like, the outcome is just paced so ploddingly, and I just feel nothing while I'm watching it. Can't put my finger on it, but I just didn't enjoy this one. Big Daddy. Now, like a number of Sandler films, it starts off with Adam Sandler's character being kind of unlikable, and doing awful things that could really hurt someone. He adopts a child to prove that he can be responsible to his ex-girlfriend, and when she doesn't take him back, he realizes he can't return the child and kind of has to put up with him. But fortunately, this one kind of manages to make Adam Sandler a bit more likable early on in this. And we spend the rest of the film showing how far he's willing to go for this kid and to look after him and to make sure he maintains custody of him. The humor's fine, it's not sleazy or anything, it's just more of a kind of a heartwarming kind of a movie that just begins with a character who's got a lot to learn and does an awful thing, makes a big mistake, but it works out in the end because, you know, he realizes how to be responsible. He kind of follows that arc through. So it's really well executed on that front, and it's an entertaining movie, and the comedy hits just fine. There is some vomit and piss that you do see in this film, and I just don't like seeing that stuff on screen unless it's a cartoon, but once you get past that, it's fine. It's nothing gratuitous, it's not like it's played up for laughs or anything, it is what it is. So I definitely got what they were going for with Big Daddy, and I enjoyed it. It was a fun film. Why do I keep sandwiching the good ones between bad ones, though? We then have The Ridiculous Six, another Netflix production, and I can't really defend this film's kind of backwards portrayal of Native Americans, and I get it, there's a lot of cultural issues with this movie. Thing is, I'm gonna try and look past that and just enjoy the film for what it is. And what it is wafer thin, but it feels ferociously long. A lot of the humor is just kind of, where is the joke, you know? There was a few moments where I did laugh in this, to be fair, and it was mainly when Taylor Lautner from Twilight, funny enough, was on screen. He was a very funny simpleton character, and I enjoyed everything with him in it, but everything else, man, he was the only shining light in this for me. 2 more to go on the home stretch. I returned to just go with it. I braved out that first 10 or so minutes, and it turned out it was only a spike, it would soon stabilize. Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston have much better chemistry in this one than they did in Murder Mystery, and Adam Sandler's not going overly sleazy with it with the silly voice and silly accent. He's fine, he's much more tolerable. He's a plastic surgeon who convinces his assistant to stand in as his wife when they go on a trip to Hawaii, and there's you know, antics ensue, basically. It's very simple. It's an Adam Sandler movie. It begins with a lie, antics ensue, a nice location happens, and I think I was just low-key learning to kind of appreciate this formula, you know? Like, I think I was getting used to it a little bit. There was a moment I especially enjoyed, I think, where Adam Sandler basically drops a kid face first into mud, and that really got me laughing. It's nothing particularly memorable, but once you get past that first 10 minutes, it's actually a perfectly fine, inoffensive comedy movie that I had some fun with. So, yeah, don't judge from first impressions is kind of what I've learned with Sandler. Like, we had Just Go With It, which, you know, first impression bad, but the overall movie was fine. 50 First Dates, Big Daddy, you know, they're all fine. Alright, moving on to the finale. By this point, Sandler Week was long over, but I was down with either the flu or probably the coronavirus, I don't know, but I was just indoors. And I was just searching through Netflix, half dead, like, the Cobbler, that's an Adam Sandler film. I like Adam Sandler. I'm gonna watch an Adam Sandler movie. And I think this was the thing, what it had kind of boiled down to at this point was I realized that Adam Sandler was kind of a guy just having fun on set, working kind of as hard as he can. Like, what I got from this was, like, maybe the scripts weren't good, but to my knowledge, he doesn't really work on the scripts himself. And while I didn't really enjoy Adam Sandler's performances in a lot of these films, like, I still recognize that there was a big effort going into this. And I guess you could say by this point I'd developed some kind of appreciation for Adam Sandler as an actor. And I kind of saw that formula of a guy does an awful dishonest thing, which leads to antics and shenanigans, and the outcome is usually a positive one. Like, you know, it's simple for me to process in this state. So I popped on The Cobbler, which I think is a Netflix film. Adam Sandler plays a shoe repairman in New York City, running his own sort of business, and he's a very cynical guy. He's kind of done with everything. That's it, you know, he's had enough. His dad ran away, Christopher Walken's his neighbor, who's always kind of looking out for him. What Adam Sandler's character learns is that if he puts on the shoes of his customers and clients, he can become those people. And he gains a bit of insight into their lives, he gets into all sorts of trouble, and it's enjoyable, it's a great concept, and it's good, it's well filmed. Adam Sandler's performance is actually really good in this. And I came away thinking, damn, I do not regret that one bit. I thought that was actually a really good film. Probably my favorite of the bunch that we've had so far. So over the course of that week and that last viewing that I had, I kind of developed a new impression as to who Adam Sandler is. I used to kind of think, how dare this guy, you know, go to these beautiful locations, imply that he's a ladies' man, see all these lovely exotic animals, and just, you know, crap out a film, basically. But lo and fucking behold, I realized something. A, actor doesn't necessarily mean writer-producer, and B, these Adam Sandler movies may have some really socially backwards themes, and the comedy may not always land right, and sometimes I'm just asking where is the joke, but my general idea of what Adam Sandler is a guy that just makes entertainment that he wants you guys to laugh and laugh along with, and he's finding a lot of fun. And like every human being, he can't get everything right all the time. And it's kind of hit and miss, but to be fair, my eyes are on Adam Sandler now. He's got my attention. Like, the next Adam Sandler film that's coming out, I'm probably gonna actually end up going seeing it. Because you know what, I just want to know if he's been successful this time. You know, if he's successfully managed to make a film that I can enjoy. If he's done that, mission accomplished, you know? So Adam Sandler isn't really this Hollywood bogeyman. He's not really this punchline or anything. He's just a guy doing his best and working hard. At least, that's the impression that I got. So I can't believe it, but Adam Sandler Week was a success. I enjoyed Adam Sandler Week. And even when I didn't enjoy it, I still had experiences to take away. So why don't you guys go ahead and find some film actor that you struggle with and check out their back catalog. See how you feel about it, you know? It's always nice to have your mind changed and realize you can enjoy something now that you didn't before. Tis the gift of experience. What do you guys think? Comment below and discuss, and as always, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, why don't you head over to channelpup.net, where we got a blog page called Dr. Blogtopus, but as well as that, you can also buy merch, such as this awful t-shirt. But if you want to be a part of the super fun Kennel Club, why not hit subscribe, hit the like button, and in the description below, you can check out the links to my Patreon and my Twitter. I think that would be pretty sweet for both of us. What do you say, champ? But in all seriousness now, thank you so much for watching, my fellow home dogs. Have a great day, because you and I both know you've earned it. I'll catch you next time.